Welcome to Local Pilot Season 2 Workforce Update. I've called this one the Friends Edition, and I'm going to use that analogy for the first half of the presentation anyway. With using Friends, I want to talk about some of the episodes that have run over the last couple of years. So we've got the one where we developed a system leadership approach. So the journey for this one started a couple of years ago whenever we knew we had to put something in place to support people to lead and work within a complex system. We didn't quite know what we needed to deliver, so we definitely didn't know how we needed to deliver it. So we went out and we spoke with lots of localities and different people working within Greater Manchester to ask what the need may be and how we may do it. From those different engagement sessions that we hosted in the different conversations, we decided to create a tender, an open tender, and to put it out for organisations to respond to support us in our system leadership approach and development. So after quite a robust tendering process, procurement process, we appointed 10GM as the organisation that would take this forward. And it's been a great relationship working with 10GM over the last 18 months. And I've just put down some of the opportunities that have been brought up that have come alive since 10GM have been working on this with us. So we didn't know exactly what we needed, and everything that you can see there on the screen now has come from people working and supporting GM moving, saying this is what we need, and it's also come from other experts who have worked in other places and said this is a good thing that may benefit the people working within Greater Manchester. So there's been over 275 different people who have engaged with some of these sessions. Some people have been on all of them, some have dipped in and out, and that's absolutely fine. It's been a year like no other, as well been said before. Time has been quite tense for some people, so they've not been able to engage as much as they can, but the opportunities have been there. There's been a time, if we look at the online reflections, where people have been able to step out of their day job and look around what support they need and reflect on what they've done in work-related matters and sometimes personal matters, and support each other through the process. Another episode is the one where we supported GM Active workforce development. So GM Active are crucial in supporting the vision of GM moving, and they play a key role within it. So one of the something that they identified quite early was the need for workforce training for their staff to enable a transformation in culture, knowledge, and the behaviours of staff to address the challenges of inactivity. So working with a key partner who have developed an online portal that all of their 3,600 staff members can access, and for the first year it has been mainly around COVID recovery, but there will be work taking place in the next or in the future to support that sort of working and leading within complex systems and transformational leadership. Got the episode where a community leadership landscape review was completed. So that quite quickly aligned to the work that we did with 10GM with the overall system leadership approach. It was whenever we put the tender out, it was very much focused on professional workforce, those working within systems, and it was quite quickly feedback from localities and from people leading work was that the community needs to come along in the journey with it. So as part of that work, 10GM commissioned Collaborate Out Loud to complete a landscape review and finding out around what community leaders, who we're not calling them volunteer, the people who play those roles in communities, bring the community together, what their barriers are to leading in this way, and what the barriers to people being active in those communities are. So I know alongside this, you'll be able to see the full report that has come out. The other episode is the one where we explore inequality workforce needs. We know with the new strategy coming, and we know from the work that we've done, is that inequalities will be a focus going forward. So we've looked at, we've held engagement sessions with a group that was exploring the workforce needs for reducing racial inequalities and physical activity. We held an engagement session with people with disabled people living in Greater Manchester and those supporting disabled people to see what the workforce needs may be. And we held a session with the Greater Manchester Poverty Action Group to see what the needs may be with that cohort. As I said, there's very much engagement for the start, and it was great insights that we've got. And I think the next phase of the work is whenever we'll see some real action taking place. So over this, while we've had those different episodes, there's been a large number of people. The network has grown, which is what we really wanted to see. We did take the conscious decision whenever COVID came around in March last year that we'd very much focus on the staff and supporting the staff who are already working with us. But over the last six to 8 months, that network has really grown and really widened, and that's probably down to the people who did engage with the different opportunities we had at the start, had been telling their colleagues about it, had been sharing it, and that's exactly what we want them to do. We want people who are our usual suspects who are coming along to it, is to tell other people who they're working with in localities about these opportunities to support their work and engage with the work of GM Moving in the local pilot. But as I've talked about the different episodes, they all seem to be individual episodes. Anyone can pick up any of those episodes, and you can, if you could watch it, you could see it, you could see what happens. You don't have to necessarily know what the whole wider picture is. They're just different touch points, and that's the way it has been working. But when we look to the future, what next? What is crucial in the work is that they go from individual series and episodes to becoming that one box set where they're all working together. So when we're talking around the inequalities work, how's that linking in with the overall system leadership work that we're doing, the GM active work that's taking place? How is that linking in with the other workforce pieces that we're leading on? And that's where we really need to get to. Is that they are all speaking to each other and complementing each other, and people are knowing about the different opportunities that are going on, rather than, as you've heard many times before, working in silos. But to get them off the ground and to get them started, I think that is the right way. We've done them, and they've all gained great traction while doing so, and we've been learning a lot during that. So, as I said, in the last 6 to 8 months, we have been widening our bubble. But that can widen even more. And there are still some sectors that we're not engaging with as much as we'd probably like to. An example of that would be health. But that is something that we're conscious of, and we will be looking at in the future, is how we can engage people or more people outside of our bubble. And if you're listening to this today, it'll be because you've got an interest in the workforce and the work that's happening in GM Moving. So you may not feel part of the bubble, but you've had this touch point. Just get in contact. How can you get engaged with the opportunities that we have? And the other thing is, tell your colleagues, tell your friends, who you're working with, that they're able to engage with them. We have never, and we will never turn anyone away from working with us. So yeah, that support is greatly appreciated. We've been getting to do a lot more work one-to-one with localities. So we've got partners from the system leadership work. We've got Aqua, we've got Do Well, and 10GM. They've been doing individual one-to-one work with localities, whether that's supporting with their steering groups, supporting with system mapping within areas. If there is an individual need for a locality, we've been able to support with that. So as I said there, the individual localities, how are they getting shared into that box set, the overall work, rather than again being another 10 silos. Not saying they have to work together across boundaries, that's definitely not the case. Localities will have their individual needs, but how whenever we're working one-to-one with localities, it's feeding back into the overall workforce piece. Talked about work that's already happened, the different episodes. They're not going away. So talk about test and learn. I think we've been testing and learning in the right places. The work that we've been doing with 10GM and the system leadership approach, that won't just be fixed, that just won't end. We need to continue developing on that, developing the opportunities. We will run some of the opportunities again that have taken place, but there's always new needs coming up. How can we, so we will work with everyone who we're working with in localities to ensure that we keep doing an ongoing needs analysis of what opportunities there need to be put on. Spoke about it a bit before, the one where we support GM Active Workforce. So very much that online platform has been developed, the structure's there, the infrastructure's there for it, should I say. Quite a lot of that's been on COVID response, and that's absolutely fine. Getting the staff back in after they've been off on furlough for so long, keeping them engaged, getting them used to using the platform. But now there's going to be a real sort of shift towards transformational leadership. How can we support those leisure centre managers? So it's not just the leisure centre they're managing; they're looking at the sort of their community, that they're making a change in the wider areas. And the one said we've been exploring the workforce needs in the inequality areas, and that's come through from the strategy as well, loud and clear. So now that, I guess, there needs to be action on that. So we've spoken, we understand there's a need, what opportunities are there, and there is going to be funding aligned to each of them to support with the work going forward. And I spoke around the bubble and the health. So Sport England, with their new strategy, I've talked around connecting with health and wellbeing. That's something we know we need to do. So within the workforce part of the local pilot, we need to understand what we need to do and how we can do it, and to work closer with health and wellbeing. So this slide's come in, if you've watched the other videos from the enablers, it's just sort of showing that, again, I'll go back to my analogy of the individual series. There's marketing enablers taking place, the engagement, the learning and evaluation in the workforce. They are all quite siloed at the minute. I think with workforce, we're working closer with learning and evaluation, and that will come out from the reports that are delivered. And I know in May this year, depending on when you're listening to it, 2021, there's going to be a deep dive on the system leadership work that's taken place. But we will, over the next year, is work closer with our the different enablers. So I guess influence and supporters. So who are the people who are driving it forward? It's got to be 10GM, the partners Do Well and Aqua who they're working with. They've been crucial and done great work over the last 18 months of sort of getting it up and getting it going, and supporting it to their sectors such as well. The community. There's been some community engagement with the different opportunities, and that's always been great. But we need to keep ensuring that the opportunities that we have are available to the community, as if we just have a very skilled workforce that we're working with, but it's not actually engaging the community, it's not going to drive forward. Sport England, many conversations around that with them around what we're doing in Greater Manchester, how we can share what we're doing. I'm learning what they're doing at a national level and how they can both link in. And GM Active, don't even know if I've spoken about that before there, I can't remember what I just said, but with GM Active, obviously they are crucial. They've got 3,600 staff members plus working across their sites within Greater Manchester. And they've been a promoter of the work we're doing. We promote what they've been doing as well. So that relationship is crucial to the success. And localities, so whether that's individuals working in localities or localities as a whole, it's important that we engage with all localities and bring them forward. And each locality has had representatives in some of the opportunities that we've had. We've spoken and we've worked with every locality, and just need to keep that going. So for the For the influencers supporters, I spoke about people or organizations. With this, for the detractors, not going to name organizations. I don't think there are organizations that could specifically name, or people, but there's just a few things. Is time. These opportunities that for people to develop and workforce development does take time. It's not fixed overnight. It's not a workshop you can go on from 12 in the morning or 12 in the afternoon till 4 in the afternoon and problems are solved. And I think that does put people off. The quick fix doesn't always happen. I think there's still, if top right there, if you don't try, the result is always failure. It's probably quite harsh, and it's fine to fail. But I've put that on there is with the system leadership work, there are still people and individuals who are not bought into it as of yet, and they're not going out and trying and getting involved in the opportunities that may happen. We've had some people who have been dead against them that come along and it's really shown it in a new light and being like, "Oh, I didn't even think of it in that way." So there's just some people who aren't sort of putting their feet in the water as of yet. But that will come. And if you look at the national strategy with Sport England, it's the way that they're working. It's not going to go away. So the sooner people do engage with the work and come along on the journey, the better. I think the bottom left one there, that's around does go down to time. I guess it comes down to permission as well. There's been some great opportunities that have been developed over the year, and there's some, to use an example, there's been coaching circles that have been created. So individuals have gone through 6 sessions to develop their coaching skills, and at the end of it, to develop a inner coaching circle. That is time off. It's not time off work. It's investing in yourself during the day. But I think there'll be some managers, some organisations who aren't seeing the value in it because they've not gone through the process yet. And I've put that picture down there as if it's the manager saying, "No, you need to concentrate on your role here, and you need to do that. You don't have the capacity or space to look at these new ways of working, these different opportunities," and that is the case, unfortunately. And put the bottom down, bottom right, learn. I think it's the workforce development is often seen as CPD, which it definitely is. It helps people grow, without a doubt, but sometimes it's not being prioritised. And to be fair, this year, as I said, it's been a year like no other. With COVID has been around, it has been all hands on deck. But hopefully, as we emerge through the recovery phase, people will have more time, and we'll see the benefit of investing in their own CPD.